Now You See Me Too. This is the sequel to Now You See Me, and
it's not a great title. It's too cumbersome. It's too long.
Yeah, and also it's the joke that everybody has made, which is Now You See Me Not. So basically, at the beginning, in the first film, there was these magicians. They were sort of like they stole from the rich and gave to the poor, and they were sort of social justice warriors. And then the film ended, and now we pick up the franchise again. And well, I would try and explain the plot, but why, when Morgan Freeman can do it so much better?
The eye. It may not lie, but don't think for a moment that it can't be lied to. Seeing is believing, but is it truth? People see the horsemen as noble Robin Hoods. Are they? Or are they common thieves? Depends on your point of view. Here's what you know. They robbed a bank in Paris from a stage in Las Vegas. They fleeced an insurance magnate of hundreds of millions of dollars and disappeared from a roof in New York, always showering their devoted fans with money. Here's what you don't know. They left one man behind, framed, holding the bag. Me.
Previously on Now You See Me. I mean, okay, I could listen to Morgan Freeman reading the phone book, and let's be honest, that's pretty close to what he was doing. Now, Jesse Eisenberg came on the show last week, and you liked him very much as a guest, although he did talk in a way like a parody of Jesse Eisenberg. So Now You See Me Too. If you were underwhelmed by Now You See Me, and I have to confess that I was, because in a world in which we have films like The Prestige, Now You See Me doesn't deliver those goods. This just has all the same problems, but slightly more so. So Jesse Eisenberg was talking about the fact that they've expanded the central cast. Most of the cast members, the key cast members, come back. Some others not, and then more characters. And you have Daniel Radcliffe. I actually thought Daniel Radcliffe was okay. Daniel Radcliffe, and I thought he did better than perhaps you did. But the main problem with it is this: there is a complicated plot, super complicated plot about double crossing and triple crossing and thingy crossing, and all of them, they're against each other, but they're together, and and the way everything has to be solved is by performing ludicrous feats of magic. So two problems. Firstly, I don't believe for 1 minute in that the plot made any sense in terms of, the way we have to solve this is by doing a big magic show. Secondly, before the screening that I saw it at, they had a guy doing close magic, to sort of warm the crowd up. Yeah. Remember I saw Elvis and Nixon, I said there was an Elvis impersonator there. This time they had a close magician, and the close magician did this close magic, and it was the usual stuff. It's like I cannot figure out how he did it. He took a note off somebody and he put it somewhere, and then it came out somewhere else. Then he had, the stuff that really, and it's happening before your eyes. And somebody said very prophetically, the problem is you've just spoilt the film. And they were right, because then what happens is you then see the film in which people are doing magic tricks, and not only is it great big stage magic, in that the interview that you did, Jesse Eisenberg said the big stuff is easy, the making the rain go backwards is easy.
It's effects,
the difficult stuff is the small stuff, is the sleight of hand, the misdirection, the onstage trick. And of course, when you're watching a film, you don't get that because it's all to do with editing and special effects. There is one sequence in Now You See Me Too, and you've seen the film as well, obviously, because you did the interview. There's one sequence which is to do with having to pass cards between the gang, between the horsemen. And there's a huge kind of contrivance, which is that there is a computer chip which somehow they can get to look like a playing card. Which you go, really? Okay, fine. So you're setting this up so that you can do some card tricks. And then it's about 5 minutes long, isn't it? The group pass the card between themselves.
It's a big choreographed sequence. You mentioned it in the interview.
Exactly. That sequence was kind of the best thing in the film. But even that sequence had the problem of, this would be so much more impressive if I was seeing somebody doing it actually in front of me, rather than the sort of, the cameras following the cards and all that sort of stuff. So you're left with a problem, which is that the film is sort of like a celebration of a great big complicated magic trick that it itself is telling you is, they're not really doing magic. What it is all tricks, and yet half the stuff they're doing is actually impossible and defies the laws of physics. But more importantly, it's not being done in front of you. It's being done as a film. And now you just think, you've just had an idea. You've had an idea which is, let's do a caper, but with magicians. As opposed to what Christopher Nolan would do, which was, let's make a film in which the narrative thrust of it is the moral issue of magic and the moral issue of the trick. And somehow what Christopher Nolan does is take a trick, the guy goes into the vat of water and somehow escapes. And somehow Christopher Nolan turns this into something which is, like a meditation upon existence. This doesn't. This just goes, here's a bunch of tricks. Look, lights, look, rain going backwards, look, cards. And then it stops.